You're okay?
I'm doing good. We're hanging in there. How you doing?
I'm good. I had to take my cognizant test again and I moved. I did not.
We adjourned the meeting in honor of somebody that
I
died.
moved from 30 to
We
70.
adjourned today.
7 or something like that. But my response.
We have two audience patrons. They want to talk about our nominations for the appraisal district. I'll call them up when it's time. Should be.
How many kids? ¿Tienes muchos kids, Víctor? ¿Cuántos hijos tienes tú? ¿All three? Boys or girls?
Two boys and one girl.
¿Viven aquí en Uvalde?
Omar lives here in Uvalde. The other ones live in
What do I need?
Ya. Se vino para acá ya no pudo para atrás.
¿A big city o qué?
City.
A big city.
Always good. 5 seconds it will be.
I was gonna say we have a big office, but they're all college employees.
Oh, because our division chairs are here. Thank you.
You didn't go.
There's some in the back.
Mark, before we begin the meeting, would you lead us in a word of prayer?
To those who would agree, let's pray. Father God, thank you for the privilege of being here this evening among friends, colleagues, and constituents. We ask that you look over these proceedings, that you be in our thoughts and in our minds and our hearts, and that you bless our students and our family and our staff and our community. We look forward to our continued service to this community, and thank you for the service of this board. And we ask your blessings on these deliberations. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Call the meeting order. It's now 6 o'clock. We'd like to recognize some of our guests. If I miss somebody, please stand up and wake me up. David Satterwhite, Joseph Valla Jr., Leo Valdez, Albert Barrera, Chuck Garabedian, Mark Underwood, Ronnie Herndon, Bonnie, Wade Carpenter, Lisa Ermis, Rosenberg Rios, Risa, Aubrey Haynes, April Ruman, Margie Leak, Derek Sandoval, Emma Martinez, Andrew Shell, Corey Compton-Beatty, Connie Buchanan, Roxanne Linan, Judy Estrada, Armando Mondragon, Brenda Hoffman, Aida Escamilla. Have I missed anybody? Stand up and introduce yourself.
Delia Esquivel.
Thank you.
All right.
Do we have an audience to patrons?
Yes, sir, we have a couple. Mr. Satterwhite, do you mind coming up to the podium?
Evening.
Good evening.
My name is David Satterwhite. I'm from the Lincoln ISD School Board, and I'm also serve as chairman of the Real Central Appraisal District Board. I saw we had the nomination for the Central Appraisal Board on the agenda tonight. Just want to tell you that our current board has been doing really good. We faced many problems. We're not the most popular board out there. I don't know if anybody dealt with the appraisal district. Not very popular at all. But anyway, I saw the nominations up there. I just want to tell you that the current board has done an excellent job. We faced a lot of adversity, but they're coming through pretty good. Also representing the school board up there from Lincoln, we have some special challenges that other taxing entities don't face. We face the school finance system here in Texas. That's why it's important for me to ask you to support the ISDs, Lakey, Nueces Canyon, and Ethiopia on their nominations this evening. We're all school districts here. We all face the financing system, but as a school district, we face recapture. We're looking at $200,000 this past year for Lakey ISD, $150,000 in recapture for Nueces Canyon ISD. So we have some special interest. The property value study, I mean, that's where the school district are really penalized for how the appraisal district does there. So that's really a focus on us, and we would really like some support on getting our nominees in there so they can really take our side as a school district. We want to try to get that property value passed. We want to stop being penalized for that. School districts in Texas are penalized by the recapture system when the appraisal district doesn't meet its goals. So we're still the appraisal district at 85% of the state values. We need to go up another 5 to 20 million to meet the state's. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to afford a house if we make it that far. So we got to have some representative from the school districts on these boards. The taxing entities don't have to face the recapture, but it really hurts the school districts and our financing. So just ask for some support on the nominations from the local ISDs. That's all I got. Unless you have any questions for me. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Risa?
Good evening. My name is Rosamund Risa, and I guess to the gentleman also, I'm running for the Uvalde County Appraisal District Board of Directors. To let you know, I've been nominated already by the county, but like I state there, I said, I want to make sure all the entities, schools, everybody is represented equally. I will myself take that initiative and make sure that they are all represented. Not, to me it doesn't matter if they hold 2,000 votes or 28 votes. That's not the point. The point is they need representation. From the smallest to the largest. All of them have to be equal. And I just want to make sure to let you know that I will strive for that myself. If I need to, I will be a voice for that. And like I also presented myself to Knipa, my understanding, I've been the only person that has gone to Knipa. Nobody even took a look at Knipa. From here, I'm going to Knipa, just to let them know the same thing. I will represent you, just like Batesville, the school, all the small entities. And I will do that. And I'm standing here to request to get nominated for that. So, thank you very much. If you have any questions, I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We have an item on the list next to address the consent agenda for the minutes of the August 17th meeting. Are there any additions or corrections? I found at one site on the August meeting there was a correction should be made on the,
She corrected it.
what?
Nita corrected it.
Need to correct the,
No, she corrected it already.
oh, she did? Oh.
What was it, Doctor?
The thing about consultation with the attorney didn't show up because we didn't have anything to talk about. Anyway, but is that corrected?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Unaudited financial statement of August 31st. Any corrections or additions or questions? Do I hear a motion to accept these two agendas by consent?
I move that we approve the consent agenda of the minutes.
Oh, second.
Second. Motion's been made and second to accept the consent agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Reports. We have a quarterly investment report.
Lisa.
Oh, yes, sir.
The investment report for the quarter ending August the 31st, 2023, the total short-term investments, $20,287,724. Long-term investments, $477,141, for a total of $20,764,866.
We need a motion to accept
No, sir.
the report. Welding program report.
We need enrollment. Oh, no, never mind. You're good. Welding. Albert?
Hello, everybody. I'm Albert Ibarra. I'm director of the, or coordinator of the welding program here from Southwest SWTJC College. I'd like to introduce my partners, Joe Valdez, those Zavala teachers in Eagle Pass. I'd like to express my thanks and gratitude for being able to teach here. Right now, it's the demand is high, and the instructors, good instructors, are hard to find. So I want to say that y'all found a good one in me and my group. We're doing great things. I mean, we're stuck in a hole over there, but all the things that happen over there are fantastic. If you look at the smart board, the gentleman at the top was Rick Carrillo. He's one of our students. He was also our lab assistant. He is trying it out there in Hondo. Below him is Mr. Zavala in Eagle Pass. He has 2 classes down there, and they're looking to maybe open tonight. Crystal City, Richard Cisneros, who's not present today, he does dual credit there. And Leo and I do the first year and second year here in Uvalde. It was rolling earlier. The process is, I just thought I'd make it pretty for y'all. Southwest Texas Traditional Welding account for first year students. Eagle Pass has 23. Hondo has 8. Uvalde 1 class 14. Total student count is 45 in the first year program. The advanced welding class, Uvalde has 2 classes and 21, and that's growing. We were struggling to get 1 class going, and now because of dual credit, there's students coming right out of high school ready to go into the second year. There's also going to be in the future a advanced class in Eagle Pass. Eagle Pass, I miss all those students that used to come down here. We used to have 3 classes a day, and I just, the only reason I don't go to Eagle Pass is because I'm from here and I want to give back to my community. So total traditional students are 66. Now, I say traditional, but that includes female. Usually we're say traditional is non-female. The dual credit, we have 9 area high schools. Cotulla with 59, Del Rio 68, Lakey 9, Saginaw 22, Carrizo Springs 24, Crystal City 13, Dilley 24, Pearsall 22, and Uvalde 45. The 286 is the total of dual credit, and 66 of the traditional students. Overall is 352.
That's good. Very impressive.
And growing. The enrollment for females to male is 10%, and I think it's around 30 or so females. Right now we have 1 in the first year. We have 3 in the second year, and you have any? I have 1 in Eagle Pass. Those bad girls, they do well, it's we can't.
I understand that women are better welders, is that true?
Well, depends. It depends. It's like saying all men are incredibly good welders. There's different levels, but they hold their own, and
I use them because I'm like, well, all the girls turned in all their homework already, guys. I was gonna be here and they wanted to know what we were gonna be studying next week, so they're already starting that. And of course, they say, I mean, I get it that y'all wanna make good grades, but we need to be impressive on our welding, and that's where you make your stand. I've been here 12, 13 years already, and it's been fantastic. You know, it comes with its lumps. The students, you know, are a challenge, but mostly they straighten up pretty much once you get onto them. I'm not usually too hard on them. I might be accused of babying some of them. In the end, I tell them once they leave, I said, all the nice people are gone. You're going to be meeting people that y'all may not consider very nice. But it's just a rough world, and you can't, because somebody said something to you in a certain way doesn't mean that they don't want you. They just want you to focus on what they're telling you. Not so much talking. They don't want to hear your heart's desire about welding. They want to see you perform. I was just showing, those are just regular students. These are dual credit. We don't do dual credit anymore, unfortunately, but the time that we had them, I think we did a good job with them. There's kind of lineups. It's good to see them that they're all doing good and not bad things. Usually it's a wanted poster sign. Here's some of the things that we have done. I'm not very good with computers, so I had a glitch happening with my PowerPoint, and thanks to Gizmo over there, he fixed it for us. But these are just small. I mean, I can't remember all the things that we have done. One of these, like at the bottom here, so instead of borrowing stuff, we have grills for ourselves now, because if we damage something, we have to replace it, and I'm the one that has to replace it. This type of welding, TIG welding, is something that's very difficult to achieve, but some of these guys make it look very easy, and girls make it look very easy. And yes, the girls do very well. They can hold up their own with the men, and some, I just tell them, just because you're not strong doesn't mean that you can't do anything. There's some things that even the man can't lift, and he's going to use machinery to do it, so it doesn't really matter. And plus, we're teams, so everybody has to pull for each other. They're the girls. There's, I think on my glitch I got rid of some of them, but the girls had their hoods down. And I was asking who's the welder, and then they pulled their hoods up and show their faces. This one here just made that Jaws deal. She saw one that I had in there. That it's a tack test. It's not just for fun. It's a skill to learn how to tack with a MIG. And she saw it, and I said, well, we can make one, but I said I want to make it bigger. So we made it bigger, and there she's happy with it. Some of the dual credit girls here did very well. Here is just some of our students. I don't have everybody's picture, but that's a good amount. And you know, some of us are jokesters. But it really is good to give somebody something to feed themselves with in the future. More projects. This gentleman here, Leo's student, he wasn't going to come to my class, so I asked him if he was going to come to the advanced class. He said no. And I said, well, let me show you some stuff or tell you some stuff before you leave, because I want you to know these things. Well, at the end of the year, he decided to stay. These are 3 coupons that he did in that morning, and he passed them all, and then he went on and did a 5G, and he passed that also. He's 19 years old, very motivated, and some of the students, I tell him, you see that man, that boy out there, y'all see 1 or 2 here. I said, but where y'all are going, you're going to see everybody that way. So if you can't hang with them, they're going to let you know right away. And it's not for you to quit, it's for you to put forth more effort, because it's all effort. It's not going to be given to you, not just because you hang out with somebody. And we go through all kinds of stuff here. I took this picture when the power was out. So we got around one of the tables, and recorded that moment in time. Some of these students, it's good to see them. They're telling me that they're going to send their brothers this way. You know, they like me, and they want them to experience me, I guess, and Leo, whatever. And the last slide is me in the school's barbecue pit. It needed some repairs, and I lead by example. And not too many people wanted to get in there and do some grinding, but you know, it also helps me stay fit, and also not to forget where I came from. It's all about work. And I did mention that we will be having a new a new advanced class in Google Pass pretty soon. Hopefully by next year. Mr. Zavala will be teaching that. That's all I have. If there are any questions?
What's our current capacity? How many more students can we accommodate with the staff that we have now?
In Eagle Pass, they could probably just stand one more class, depending whether it be a first year or second year. We'd like to have 2 apiece here, but one, we don't have space, and another thing is we're not positive if we have enough power to keep both shops running at the same time. So we're maxed out at 3 here. One thing I didn't mention was that Joe and Leo built some booths which are a lot safer than what we had before, which is a big improvement. It lowered down the amount of booths that we have, but we can also improvise if we have more students, have them at a table where we can build around them, or I don't mean like build, but like put partitions in front of them so light doesn't bother anyone else or light bother them. We improvise.
Where are the jobs now? It used to be with the fracking and all that stuff going on. Where are the big jobs now?
Everywhere. If you leave Uvalde, I mean, it depends on how things are. Like Tim's, where I was at, we learned to do all kinds of things. And I'm grateful for that, because now they're not doing that anymore for liability reasons, one, and the other is not enough people to take those positions. Like Mr. Stonecipher, Robert Stonecipher was our shop foreman, and he's just incredible at fabricating. But he's gone now, you know, he's doing his own thing, and there's nobody to fill his shoes yet. Maybe that doesn't mean somebody won't come from Houston or some other area and maybe reopen those spots. All the belt traders there, they work those kids hard. They're just doing MAID, which is wire feed, on those big trailers, and doing things that I've never seen. Went over there and took a test and passed it, but had I not asked them ahead of time what they were doing, I would have not been prepared. So that's what we try to get with everybody, to let us know what they're doing. That way, when our students show up there, they at least look good. I mean, even professional welders, I've been with them, and they bust tests from time to time. It's not very difficult what they're doing, but if you're not prepared, it shows. And one experience also, as soon as I pulled that trigger, I knew how fast I needed to go. It wasn't about a slow process, super fast compared to super fast, super hot is what they're doing. Barnuminiums, I heard somebody mention that earlier. Those are going up everywhere. So that's a job where I tell these students, just because you can't get a cert or an open route, which is one of the higher certs that you want to get, just because you have that doesn't mean that they're just going to give you a whole lot of money. One thing is stick or plate. If you don't know how to weld thin material, even just with stick, you're kind of useless to them. You know, I try to instill what they instilled in me. You learn everything. That way, you're more beneficial to your employer. Plus, you get paid better. You know, you're not just there because of your good looks or whatever. Now in Houston, we've been to places like during conferences that we go where I can't remember the name of the place, but they built everything for the Superdome or one of the more recent domes that they built. and they have people on, from doing everything, welding, AC, the ductwork, all of that stuff, and it's shipped out to those places. They pay $2,000 to move you down there. In Corpus, they have, they're building the ship channel. They're building a bigger bridge to accommodate bigger ships going through. And we visited a place where they were building tugboats, $4 million tugboats. You know, they build them upside down, and then they flip them over, and then they keep on, and the carpenters get in there and do all of that stuff. So we're telling them that it's out there, they just have to go get it. It's not going to come to them, and you know, it's hard to leave your home, but that's what it's going to take. I mean, if you can find a job in Uvalde or Eagle Pass, keep it, because most people don't want to give it up. I mean, I wouldn't. I've been offered other jobs, other places, not welding, but I tell that to my student. My family, some of my family owns Sonic, and they wanted me to run one of the stores. And well, my cousin has a real nice house and all of that, and I'm like, well, I can't do it, you know, because I could just imagine somebody pulling up the Sonic in a rig, and I'm like, you know, I could have been a welder. Chesapeake, my wife's husband is a higher up there, and he said he'd give me a job in anyone I wanted. And I asked, well, do you have a welding shop? No, because they would bring it to us at Tim's, and he's like, well, no. I said, well, I'm going to have to pass. Some people would say, well, you know, you're a fool, but no, I'm not. I chose what I'm doing, but that's it.
Do you teach aluminum welding?
Sir?
Do you teach aluminum welding?
Yes, sir. Some people are impressed, but it's not that serious. It's more impressive when you can really make it look really, really nice. But yes, sir. And it's all the same kind of, except aluminum's a little bit different.
It's all the same, but a little different.
Except aluminum's a little different. But it's, once you understand it, it's not that hard. It's you just go to town.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next on the agenda, we have a fall enrollment report.
Randa?
Well, so I am happy to report these enrollment numbers. We came in at a 6% increase in headcount over last fall, a 9% increase in contact hours over last fall, and a 9% increase in semester credit hours over last fall. So we are up and happy, and just evidenced by all of the goings on campus. Students are back, and they're excited to be back, and they're getting involved, and oh man, it just makes me so happy. It makes me so happy to see. And just a couple of other figures that aren't on that one sheet that you have in your packet. We're at 51% dual credit students, 49% traditional students. And then I ran a little thing on the internet students that are non-dual credit internet students. And just a fun fact, about 60% of those internet students are from either Del Rio or Eagle Pass. So a lot of Del Rio and Eagle Pass students are attending online. Any questions?
Did you return to the campus?
Yes, 100%.
How much?
Oh, man. I don't have a number to give you. You're talking about, like, people being here.
Being on the campus?
Yes. Anecdotally, I can, and by observation, I can tell you, yes, absolutely. Students are out and about. I don't know if you guys saw it, but out in front of the Kincaid building, Phi Theta Kappa painted a couple of game boards. We have a giant chess checkers board and 2 cornhole courts and a 4-square court. And students are out there. We hung some swings in the trees, and students are out there playing pretty much every day. So yeah, we're seeing a lot more traffic. I think everybody would agree. Yes.
It's good that we're being used.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have a president's report.
Yes, sir. So, apologize for the briefness. I was under the influence of COVID last week when I was preparing this, so. Under the maintenance side, the Chittum project is progressing nicely. The welding expansion should be completed early October, followed by diesel in November. So that's coming along just great. Dorms, we're doing some cosmetic painting to the exterior. Our plan is to, tackle another wing with interior remodel this coming summer. So that's kind of on our radar for a big project that's coming up. And then the tech expansion. So that's where the majority of our time has, at least my time, has been focused on in developing the scope of the first phase of the expansion program. Working with the different departments, with Derek, our maintenance folks, and trying to put together a budget that supports our phase 1 expansion. So I know we've got some agenda items on the tech expansion. Our expectation is for October to bring you a estimated budget for the first phase of the tech expansion. And of course, we had 2 audience to patrons today. Appraisal districts, we have several nominations that are for the board's consideration. I know in the past you've asked about the Eagle Pass snack bar. It is open and up and operational, so we have a vendor there providing services to our students there in Eagle Pass, and there is a marked increased traffic on all the campuses, in-person traffic. It really brings energy, life and energy to our facilities, having them back on campus and not just on Zoom or online. That's pretty much the president's report, sir.
Okay. What percentage of our dorms are occupied? Space is available.
Do we know?
Percent of the dorms.
80%, more or less.
So we have some vacancies?
Yes. You're looking for a place?
Might be. Give me a chance. Next on the agenda, we have a item to consider an act on adopting a tax rate of 0.120 per $100 evaluation.
Yes, sir. That is our recommendation. It's based on our presentation we did last month. It is our no new revenue rate, so this is, which would be the equivalent of the effective tax rate in the old language. But we recommend that we decrease our property tax rate to 0.120382 per $100 valuation.
We need a motion?
Please.
I move.
A second?
A second.
A motion's been made and seconded to adopt the new tax rate at 0.12038.
Is the vote unanimous?
Do we do a roll call or no?
Do we need to,
Okay.
Everybody?
Need a call for vote.
all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed.
We'll let the record reflect it was unanimous.
Unanimous, yes, sir. Consider an act on PICO lease for Del Rio Aviation Hangar.
Yes, sir. This is item number 8 in your board packet. There's a minor change in the lease, and that is going from $750 per month to $1925 per month. About a $2,000 increase on an annual basis. This is for our aviation program in Del Rio.
Are they agreeable?
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve it.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed unanimously. Next item on the list is consider an act on the Valley County Appraisal District Board nomination due to the vacancy.
Yes, sir. So item number 9, this is for the nomination to replace the recall vacancy. We do have another item, number 10. That would be a separate nomination. So number 9 is the single replacement for the recall.
I would like to nominate Mr. Raymond Velos. Mr. Velos has served on the Appraisal District Board, and most recently, he had served on the Appraisal District ARB Board. So he's got a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge, and I think he could serve us well on the Appraisal District Board. So I'd like to nominate Mr. Velos.
You want to make that in the form of a motion?
Raymond Velos?
You need a motion for that?
We do.
I'll make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, the motion carried unanimously to accept Mr. Raymond Velos as the nominee to succeed in that spot. Next item on the agenda is to consider an act on the Uvalde County Appraisal District Board nominations.
Okay, this is item number 10 in your board packet, and this resolution is, hold on. Where's my packet? My sheet here, we had 3 vacancies on that one. Hang on, let me find my place here. It's J. Allen Carnes, Tony T. Moreno, and Howard Kingsbury. Their 2-year terms will expire December 31st, 2023. So we have an opportunity to, again, the board can make nominations. And these are for the 3 spots. You can nominate 1, you can nominate 3, whatever the board's prerogative is. You know 1. You know the second one.
I would like to continue on that board. I think we're finally, after a few years, figuring things out and making progress. So I would like to continue on the board. I appreciate the nomination.
Anybody
We
else?
need to nominate 3?
You can nominate 1. I
You
mean,
can just, it's just,
Nominate Tony.
yeah.
I'll reluctantly second it.
Reluctantly.
Vote on each one?
I put down reluctantly here in a minute, so.
Just
We better vote before I change my
the
mind.
nomination, and then next month we'll do the vote allocation.
Do we need to nominate 2 other people for the other spots?
Not necessary.
Well, I think the other 2
Is,
You can. I
going
mean,
off are excellent nominees, so
So do they want to
Mr.
serve anymore?
Carnes, do they,
I haven't any information of whether they want.
They have not said that they do not want to serve, so
So should we nominate all 3 then?
But-
Two.
we can if that's.
But when do we vote to allocate the votes?
It'll be next month.
Next month, okay.
to nominate?
They can nominate someone, they don't ask to be, but if they don't want to serve.
Should we nominate Kingsbury and Carnes?
That's y'all's call.
Does anybody want to nominate anybody? Or should we just leave it open?
Leave it
I
open.
think Carnes, I know him, I think, is it Jay Carnes?
Yeah, J. Allen.
This just gives an opportunity for them to be eligible to be elected, right? It doesn't, we're not
Correct.
designating
It's
them.
not a vote, it's just a nomination.
Uvalde, Sabinal, Canepa, Nueces Canyon, Lakey, Utopia, us, the Water District, City of Uvalde, City of Sabinal. All those entities will have an opportunity to nominate somebody.
Okay.
And then next month, we'll get a list of everybody that's been nominated. And then,
Decide how to allocate our votes.
and then we have 207 votes to allocate to whatever candidate.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, that's how it'll work.
So it doesn't make sense to nominate someone twice, because you're going to be eligible to be voted on.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, do we know if Mr. Carnes and Mr. Kingsbury have already been nominated by another entity?
Not that I know of, and I don't know exactly what entities nominated them. I know Mr. Kingsbury is a 1-year, he was filling in the spot for Mr. Buchanan. So I don't know if they've been nominated or not. But all the entities are meeting, and so each entity, like Mr. Reese has already been nominated by the county. So he's already, his name's gonna be in the pot there to run. But that's for the 1 year, the one where, the recall. That's the only one. This is for a 2-year term.
And the others haven't served, the other two nominees?
The other two are serving now,
Oh,
and they're just,
like
they're
you.
running again.
Like-
Will they automatically be on the ballot?
Yeah, they'll all, if they're nominated, yeah. And they were nominated by some other entity, I don't know exactly what.
So they're both renominated,
No.
Okay.
so we don't need to do anything there.
Confusing.
More than likely, the entities that nominated them are gonna nominate them again.
Okay.
If they, like I said, they haven't expressed an disinterest in not running again.
If I can just go back to item number 9, we may have to call a special meeting because I know the timeline for allocating those votes is a lot shorter, and it gives us 15 days from when they receive the last nomination. So we may have to end up calling a special meeting before
Correct.
October so we can allocate those votes.
Depending on when the other entities meet and when the last entity meets.
Correct. So once we have that information, I'll get with Dr. Watkins and we'll schedule a special meeting.
Okay. So then we don't need any further action on the Uvalde County Appraisal District nominees?
Yeah, we just need to vote on that motion that was made.
Okay. Do we need to vote on the nomination of Tony?
Yes,
We have a motion and a second, right?
correct.
So we need to say, all in favor of that nomination?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Nomination carries 100%. Act in, number 11 is to act on Reel County Appraisal District Board nomination.
Yes, sir. This is number 11. Now, Real County has a unique situation where all 5 current serving UCAT board members are up. They're not staggered like Uvalde. So currently serving, as Mr. Satterwhite mentioned, is Billy Frank Collins, Arthur McGuire, Carol Petrovics, David Prather, and David Satterwhite. Again, I'm assuming you can see the entity there on the second page of 11. The entity that carried their nomination. Is it fair to assume, Mr. Satterwhite, they're going to carry the nomination again?
I know that Mr. Fraser and Mr. Collins have been nominated by the Noseworthy County Individual Committee already.
And Lakey?
So maybe we meet next week. I can't speak for the rest of the board, but I hope they'll be up again.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to nominate Mr. Satterwhite.
I'll second.
Reluctantly also.
Anybody else? Let's,
Any further discussion?
Shackelford?
Should we vote on the motion to?
We have another person by the name of Dr. Arnold Adair that I'd like to nominate.
What was his name?
Dr. Arnold Adair.
I believe that's who Real County is going to nominate.
For Real County. Does that have to be said?
What's his doctorate degree in?
And
Education?
Education.
So you're nominating him, Ms. Shackelford?
I'm sorry?
You're nominating him?
Yes.
Need a second?
And
Anybody want to second that nomination?
I'll second it.
Okay. Any further nominations?
thank you.
before we vote, Mr. Satterwhite, why are they all 5 at once? That's kind of a devastating thing to have a whole, why is that happening?
That's the system in the Rio Central Appraisal District, and that's the trouble is just, I get some of these people up to speed, they're removed. We've actually, the county has put on removed in this last 2-year period 3 members. So they don't vote the way they like, so they recall. So I'm faced with that. That's why I encourage you to, the present board has made a lot of progress in putting them back up. So when you got 5 in, 5 out, it really makes some devastating changes.
It's kind of tough.
Yes.
If you get all new people, it's just,
And there's a ton of stuff to learn. I mean, it takes you a year just sitting listening to get up to speed to make an informed decision.
yeah.
Do we need to take a vote?
What about
Are there any further
Carol?
nominations?
Oh,
Move the nomination cease. Shall we vote on the two
Said Lakey was going to nominate.
nominees, Satterwhite
we're
and
doing this for
Adair?
Rio County. He's good next. This is for Rio County. Is that what you understood?
All in favor of these two nominees?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Consider an act on reallocation of portion of contingency budget, tech expansion, deferred maintenance projects, and fleet purchases.
Yes, sir. This is item number 12 in your board packet. If you flip to the second page of the memo there, number 12, you see our contingency account within our budget is sitting at $3,323,878. We didn't allocate the budget because we were still getting final numbers from the state on our change in funding. So that's what we have in our contingency amount. And what we're proposing is, you see the $2.5 million that we had from tech expansion. That was part of the $5 million that the state gave us to expand technical programs. We're proposing that we transfer $1.5 million from the contingency account towards the tech expansion. Transfer $500,000 to our deferred maintenance projects, and then $250,000 to our fleet vehicles out of our contingency. That still leaves our contingency balance at $1 million. That's unencumbered money within our operating budget.
Do we need a motion?
Yes, we do need a motion.
I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the recommendation.
Second? Anybody want to second that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor should signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Item number 13 is consider an action on approval of tech expansion plan and related actions.
Yes, sir. So item number 13, this is the document that we've been working on. So we're trying to narrow down and identify what the scope is of what I'm terming phase 1 of the tech expansion, which would be the 23-24 year. What's going to be the scope of what we expand? And this is a document that you have here. This is important because this will then guide our budget, and it'll guide our resources to accomplishing these things for phase 1. And then next year we'll have the phase 2 of the project. But for phase 1, we're proposing that we expand professional truck driving to Uvalde. And just some again, these are very high-level bullet points, what that'll involve to do that. And that is clear land to build a practice pad where they can, practice backing up, hooking up, making turns. Purchase a modular classroom and office building for truck driving. And then purchase some additional vehicles so we don't take the trucks out of our program in Eagle Pass right now and bring them over here, because that defeats the purpose. We can run them both concurrently. The second major item in that scope is expand diesel technology to Uvalde. Right now, our only program is in Eagle Pass. And this is a multi-step process to expand diesel. Again, ideally, we would have enough money to just build everything we need, but we're trying to be frugal and how we do this so we can make that $2.5 million that the state gave us, stretch it as far as we can. In order to do that, we propose building a new warehouse, and then for our warehouse, and I know you've heard this throughout the summer because we've been saying this, but move the warehouse to the new building. Our current construction science, which is in what we used to call the auto body shop, we'll move that to the warehouse, and in the old auto body shop, which is now construction science, will become our diesel lab. So I know there's a lot of steps there, but I think if we do that, we can really maximize the dollars that we have. So we're building a warehouse, which is really in essence a shell, and not have to build the whole full-out building like that lab. The third phase is to relocate our professional truck driving in Eagle Pass to free up space for the other tech programs. So that is just purchasing another modular, building another practice pad on the 18 acres close to the campus. By doing that, we free up space at the Chittum Center to bring in power line, automotive, and HVAC to that facility. Now, if you flip through the diagrams there, we'll kind of walk you through you'll see the truck driving there. It's just kind of, hitting the same points that we talked about. You see the Uvalde campus with professional truck driving. You see the truck there. What I want to focus on that where it says SWTJC opportunity of growth. So what we're proposing, we looked at multiple sites for, number one, where do we relocate the truck driving pad? And we looked at the area south of the campus, which is towards the gun range, behind the WIT building, behind the maintenance shop. But in studying that a little further, we feel that the best location for that is on the 40 acres across the street from Garner Field, past the daycare. It would be highly visible from the road. We can put our sign there for truck driving. It'll be easy access for the trucks to come in and off of Garner Field Road versus down Airport Boulevard down here. Utilities are available down Marsh Lane, which would be a savings on the utility costs. So we're proposing to put the truck driving pad and perhaps the warehouse across the street by the daycare. We think that would be
Across the street from your house.
across the street from the arena,
Yeah.
yes, that area.
What about flooding in there?
Yeah, so that area does, it is a low area, but the area that we're looking at over here is also a low area. Kind of the strategy there would be to build a practice pad closest to the daycare and then put the building further east on the road. If it does flood,
It doesn't rain.
if it rains,
It doesn't rain very much.
it'll cause a problem for a couple of weeks, so it dries out, but and that hasn't been a problem in a while.
Well, it usually dries out 2 or 3 days anyway,
Yeah.
right?
It does.
So it can be used even within like 48, 72 hours from heavy rain.
So you can kind of see on the following page, that's the map of that area adjacent to the daycare. You'll see those two entrances. That's point of reference is the entrances to the rodeo arena. That's more or less how it would be situated. Again, a very rough diagram. It's the one with the yellow, green, and blue box. On the next page is the Chittum campus. And I apologize for this because Google Earth has not updated the picture of the Chittum campus. But the big area, the big L that kind of sticks up, that's the practice pad for the truck driving. And it's on that location where we would put the new buildings, the new labs for automotive and HVAC. Power line would go further back on the property there. You can kind of see that denoted on the next page with the green blocks with A, B, C. And then the next page is the 18 acres on behind the campus. You can see where they sit relative to the campus. The campus is the one with the red roofs. If you turn to the following page, you can see the ABC. This would be locations that we've identified that we would place that modular classroom for the truck driving, and then a place for that truck driving pad. Those streets are already paved, improved, there's utilities everywhere there.
Dr. Gonzalez,
Sir.
what kind of modular building, you're talking about like 3 of them there?
It would be one, we're just talking about where do we put it, what's the best location.
But wasn't it 3 different buildings where the 3 different programs or something on the?
Right, so on the Chittum Center, if you flip back to this picture here, the Chittum Center will involve 2 buildings, potentially 3. So we need a shop area for automotive, we need a shop area for air conditioning. The next agenda item we have is, authorize me to start discussing this with architects and see if it's better for us to build 1 big building or 2 separate buildings for the shop. Now, for the classroom portion to support those programs, we're proposing to do a modular similar to what we did with the Law Enforcement Academy, and just buy a modular building that can accommodate the classroom and office space that we need and come and set it there. Again, I'm looking at $2.5 million to spend, and I can do that with modulars that I can't do with, brick and mortar.
Brick and stone. Yeah, just because the modular buildings, remember we had looked at that second one and it went up like double the price of what we got this one.
Right, so we're getting some quotes already. We received some quotes for the truck driving modulars, which would be a smaller scale. We're looking at 2 classrooms, offices, restrooms, and they come in just a little north of $200,000 for the modulars, for those small ones. So we would get 2 of them, one for the Uvalde, one for the Eagle Pass. So we're already starting to get those components. The big components of this project are going to be those modulars, the 2 lab facilities, or 1 lab facility, however, it makes more sense. And then the warehouse. But again, the warehouse, it's going to be a shell. So, I mean, it is built out a little bit where the office is, but when you look at it, as far as the interior utilities, it's going to be minimal because it's a warehouse.
It'd be much like our auto body type building.
Yeah, well, it'd be, virtually identical to the warehouse that we have now. So that's kind of the scope of what we're asking the board to approve. With this approval, then that turns us loose to get more refined budgets, and the goal, like I said, is to come back to you in October with a estimated budget to accomplish phase 1 of the tech expansion project.
We need a motion to approve the reallocation of the contingency budget.
We did that one. Now we need to do 13.
Tech expansion
Tech expansion plan.
Yes.
plan. I move that we approve that.
Second?
Victor, second.
Okay.
Who said?
All in favor?
Anita,
I need to check.
All in favor of the proposed tech expansion plan? Say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Next we have on the agenda, consider an act on authorizing the president to negotiate a professional services agreement with Davis Powell Architects for tech expansion projects and related matters.
Yes, sir. So this just gives me the authority to engage our architects that we've already selected in the past and get them to start doing some preliminary work for us on these buildings.
I'll make that motion.
Anybody second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Next on that agenda is to discuss the board self-evaluation.
Yes, sir. That's item number 15. You should have a summary of the responses that we received And that is, this is an internal, the board evaluating itself on, their performance and, what the strengths are and what you would like to improve upon as a board, and anything that we can do to help you with either additional training, you want us to, bring in an expert on any field. I will share with you, we've had a lot of academic and technical programs presenting to you. I asked my cabinet next month that we bring in some of our services as well, so you hear what our services side area is doing as well. I think it's beneficial for the board to really get a good grasp of everything that we do, both from an academic instructional side as well as the services side. But you have that board self-assessment there for y'all to review and discuss as y'all deem appropriate.
Can I call you back? Somebody turn the debt loose. So do we need any further discussion on that? Or should we now go into closed session?
Yeah, that's it.
Now we'll go into closed session to, in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Codes 551.072 and 551.074 to consider employment-related matters and real estate matters. See y'all later.
Yeah.
You got to mention time,
I was telling the lady I was gonna pop in.
Yeah.
I think I touched it, but I didn't turn it on. What?
You're touching it too long. Yeah.
Did you have us going out?
At 7, and then 7:19 coming back. You got to wear a suit.
Is that mine?
I'd rather wear that.
Contarle.
Oh, it's me.
We'll reconvene in open session. Is there any further business to conduct before the meeting tonight?
No, sir.
I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move that we adjourn.
Do I hear a second?